I used to do a talk show with my brother. We still do it from time to time at WDEL, the big talker in Wilmington, Delaware. My brother's a liberal, I'm not, so, you know, my favorite question to him was always, hey, Denny, we call him Denny, John, what did you do? What did you and your buddies do? How did you and your buddies ruin this once decent middle-class town of Wilmington, Delaware? How'd you do it? How'd you turn it into one big hot chocolate mess that's now on the cover of Newsweek where they call it Murder Town, USA? Well, my brother's approach was never to answer the question. My brother's approach is always to do this. Instead of answering my question, he would say 2 + 2 = 4. So what he said was technically correct, but it had nothing to do with the question I just asked him. And so, you know, that's one way to lie in a public forum, right? You pretend like something else is happening and nobody's going to question it because they're going to say, well, 2 + 2 = 4. There's nothing wrong with that. But on these videos that we see that a lot on these videos, but we also see sometimes some pure, flat out, plain denial, deception, and deceit and delusion. We rarely see it in as pure of a form as this from Virginia Beach. Now, in Virginia Beach, anybody who's read Don't Make the Black Kids Angry or White Girl Bleed a lot, but especially Don't Make the Black Kids Angry, they know what's going on in Virginia Beach. Ever since, I mean, this has been going on for decades. 2 Live Crew made a song about Virginia Beach. It's called Welcome to the Terror Dome. Talks about how large groups of black people arrive in Virginia Beach and just trash it. Top to bottom, they trash it. You know, and we've done many videos on this, again, which you can find in Don't Make the Black Kids Angry. You can see the videos of large groups of black people going into restaurants, beating the piss out of the customers, beating the hell out of the owners. There was even a time where they even threw a brick at a horse's head and killed it. It's one big, enormous hot chocolate mess. And every year about this time, they all get together and they go, man, what are we going to do with this, you know, this tsunami of black violence that's about to come to our town? And they always look in the camera, the Chamber of Commerce types, whom I normally like. They come into the town and they go, boy, Colin, I don't know what you're talking about. Nothing really happened. And if it did happen, it didn't have anything to do with black people. It was just, well, it was just a thing. That's a lie. This story you're going to see starts off with a lie, and every other word after it is just one bigger lie after another. They start off by saying it's called College Beach Week. No, nobody calls it College Beach Week. It's Black Beach Week at Virginia Beach. It's famous. Let's hear what these clowns down at Virginia Beach are trying to pull one over on us.
New concerns being raised about an upcoming event at the Virginia Beach oceanfront. That's College Beach Weekend.
And we saw a lot of violence last year, and now a task force whose job it was to assess previous College Beach weekends says the event could be hurting the city's reputation. And at your side, Stephanie Harris has a look at their report tonight. Stephanie?
Tom and Anita, the task force made up of beach business leaders spent nearly a year interviewing college students, tourists, business owners, and closely researching how other resort cities handle these kinds of events. And they have some ideas on how to control the crowd and the crime that comes with it. College Beach Weekend is marred by bad attitudes and bad behaviors, says the chair of a task force that just released this report with suggestions on how to fix it.
It really is a reflection on all of us in the beach if we can't have a weekend where people can get together.
The crowd of predominantly African-American students has hit the oceanfront in April for the last 5 years. Last spring, 4 people were shot and 1 was stabbed. Restaurant workers told Wavy TV they were terrified and disgusted by the lewd behavior.
It's bad attitude and bad behavior as opposed to race or young, old, or whatever.
The task force found race has nothing to do with it. Neither did college students, for that matter. Local high schoolers, they say, cause most problems. Strayhorn pointed out with a crowd of 30,000 crammed into a 10-block area.
You're almost looking at a situation where something is going to happen unless you turn around and decide you're going to manage that effectively.
Their recommendations? Manage capacity and crowds by shutting down the entry to the oceanfront early to avoid gridlock, temporarily making Atlantic and Pacific one-way streets, creating special events, giving visitors something to do and allowing the city to control crowds, and finally, better communication.
If we have not been letting people know what is going to happen on the weekend, how do you expect to be able to control what goes on.
So she says talk to neighbors, talk to the people coming to visit beforehand, let everybody know what's going on and what kind of behavior will be tolerated, and do that well ahead of time. City Council and the city manager are currently reviewing the task force's findings. As Strayhorn said, the ball's in their court now.
Look, none of this is new to people who live in Virginia Beach. None of it. Everybody who lives in Virginia Beach, especially people who have a business down there, especially people who have ever worked in those businesses down there, tons and tons of testimonials, tons of videos with links and don't make the black kids angry. They all know what the truth is. That large groups of black people come into Virginia Beach every spring and they trash the crap out of that town. That's a fact. And so for that lady who came on there, what's her name, Lisa Strayhorn? I looked her up. She's a black woman. Her life now is she does the minority business consulting thing in Virginia Beach. So all I can say is that woman is was telling one of the biggest, fattest lies we've ever seen on this channel. To try to say that College Beach Week is not Black Beach Week, to try to say that it's not a black thing, it's a something else thing. I mean, there's no other way to put it than to say that that's only not true. Not only not true, she knows it's not true. Everybody in Virginia Beach knows that's not true. Good Lord, where do people get the intestinal fortitude to look into a camera and lie their butts off like that? And the lady at the end going, well, we're going to fight this by letting everybody know what to expect. I mean, what the hell does that mean? The black people come in, they ruin the town, they overwhelm the cops, and then a week later the merchants get together and they go, well, what just happened? Well, the answer is the same thing that's been happening every year for the last 20, 30 years. What did she say? Be aware. Tell people what the consequences are. There are no consequences. Nobody gets, very few people get arrested. You really have to work hard to get arrested during Black Beach Week. You can challenge the cops to fights. You can just go right to the limit. You're not going to get arrested. Because Lisa Strayhorn, the people around Virginia Beach, the people who run the TV stations and the newspapers, they know that during Black Beach Week, job one is don't make the black kids angry.